we were when we left off at the last portion of the trial, we had direct examination of the father by Mr. Anagnostou. And
Right.
did you finish your direct, or are you still in the midst?
No, I was in the middle of it.
Okay, great. So then we will go back to that, and we'll continue the direct examination of the father by Mr. Anagnostou. And then let's see. And Mr. Ludwig, Jayden Ludwig, can you hear me okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I can.
Okay, great. And there's your video. Perfect. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Mr. Ludwig, I think we left off when we left off. You had temporarily resided with your grandmother, and then you moved in with your mother for a period of time in the Spokane area. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and then from there, you started dating Caitlin Boone. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then you moved into her home, her mother's home, Melody Boone's.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I think we're up to that point. And what I wanted to ask you about that time was Melody Boone testified. I'm not sure if you recall that, but a lot of issues with your care of Jaylen, your daughter. So I wanted you to respond to that. I mean, who was doing the care for Jaylen when you were living with Melody Boone?
It would be me, or because I was trying to have my relationship with Caitlin at the time. I was trying to make it like an equal parenting ship, just trying to figure it out. I was 19 at the time, young. So I was trying to just having both of us try to do equal work on it.
Okay. Were you working when you were living with them?
I was not working at the time, but I was looking for a job.
Okay. All right. Was there any domestic violence between you and Miss Boone, or anything where the police were called?
None of the cops were called on me. No.
Okay. All right. So go ahead, kind of on a day-to-day, what would happen while you were at the Miss Boone's residence?
I'd get up. Sometimes I'll make breakfast for Jaylen, to get her ready, make sure she's dressed. We'd play out in the living room for a while, and I'd sit back, watch her, make sure she's not getting into things that she's not supposed to be getting into. All
right. And there was allegations by her with regards to changing diapers and those type of things?
Well, she's working all day for morning. I forgot what time she started work or whatnot, but she'd go throughout until I think 5, maybe 6 o'clock at night, maybe a little later. So how did she know that I hadn't changed her? Does she have cameras put up in the house? There's a hard way to tell that she knows that I didn't change her if she wasn't there.
Right. Well, did you change?
I changed Jaylen, and then I also had Caitlin Boone change her too. I was trying to, like I said, I was trying to make it as a group effort, as a trying to make a family.
Right. And how old was Caitlin?
She was, I think, a year younger than me.
Okay. All right.
Maybe
so both of you guys were relatively young then.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, she testified that she would stop by the house and Jaylen hadn't been changed. Did that occur?
So I've changed her, but sometimes me being a new parent and everything was just, I'm trying to get everything figured out still. But I would change her diaper, and sometimes ADHD, I kind of forget, but I try not to forget. I'm trying to take care of Jaylen as a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old that I was at the time.
Right. And then there was allegations with regards to playing video games all day long.
No, I wouldn't play video games all day long. I'd play video games for maybe like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, just time, just a normal amount. Not like it's not like I overstretch and play all day, every day, 24/7 of the week. I don't do that.
And would you do the care for Jaylen while you're playing video games?
Yeah, if when I was able to, yes, I'd pick it up, make sure she's okay, if she's crying, and everything.
Right. And then from Miss Boone's residence, that's when you moved in with your father and his girlfriend, Miss Craig.
Yeah, even though I didn't really want to, but yeah.
Well, why did you move in with them?
I just felt like I had no other choice.
Okay.
Being 19, 20 years old, not really knowing.
All right. And do you recall when you moved in with them?
I believe I was turning 21, maybe 4 or after I hit 21. I think it was after I hit 21.
When your father testified, he indicated that something that you'd been kicked out of everywhere you'd been. Is that a correct statement?
No, I got kicked out of Melodies, but not for the reason she's saying I got kicked out. But my grandparents, they never kicked me out.
And your mother never kicked you out?
No.
All right. And so you moved in with your father, he indicated at the time you didn't have a license, no insurance, no tags.
That was during COVID-19 hit, and like I said, just new parent and everything. I was trying to get everything figured out. But currently now I have my license. I have insurance on my car. I got a car. It's liable. It's everything that a car needs to be for a 3-year-old.
All right. Both Melody Boone and your father brought up marijuana smoking. You do use marijuana, okay? Is that right?
Yeah, I do, because it's legal in Washington and Oregon.
All right. So how often, and is it ever around Jaylen and that type of thing?
No, every time I did smoke, I made sure Jaylen was sleeping and she was actually sleeping and not just in her crib or anything. I make sure she's asleep every time I did smoke. I was trying to be a responsible adult, just trying to figure that out too. So I wouldn't, go outside, smoke a joint in front of Jaylen. No, that's not what I don't do that. It's always been away from her.
And is there a specific time that you do this?
Like when she was doing her nap time, I would take maybe a couple hits here and there. So that way I could take a nap too and everything else. And I do it during the night time when she's like sleep.
Okay. So I mean, is that why you use marijuana as a sleep aid?
Yeah, I use it for sleeping, and I use it for helping me eat because I was on a medication when I was younger called methylphenidate. If you don't know what methylphenidate is, it's ADHD medication. And I was on the highest dosage back when I was young. And till this day, I still have issues eating.
Okay.
I can go days without eating and my stomach doesn't even let me know. Like it's that bad.
All right. There was allegations that your marijuana would be kind of out in the open around Jaylen. Is that correct?
I tried not to, no. I tried to make sure everything was put up and everything was not in front of her. So she didn't know, she wasn't touching anything of it. She doesn't know what it is. She doesn't,
All right.
I mean, I tried so hard making sure she does not know what it is. And, just try to make sure that she's not around it.
Okay. Now, there was allegations by Kai Ludwig and I guess your sister Holly about sleeping in late while you were at Kai's residence.
Well, if I was working for like jobs, because I was doing jobs through the temp agency, and if I heard last court, I don't know if this is, but I'll just forget that. Yeah, I'd go to work in the morning some when I was doing my morning shifts, and then I'll do like evening shifts too for like swing shift and everything. When I do swing shift, it's night work. So I'd sleep in the morning, get up in the afternoon, and go to work.
Was there a particular job that you had where you were working swing shift?
I was working at Foster Farms. I didn't get off until like 1 o'clock in the morning.
All right. And that's when you were living at your father's?
That's when I was living at Kai's, yes.
Okay. So you'd get off at 1 o'clock in the morning at Foster Farm in Kelso?
Roughly, yes.
And then you would drive all the way to
their place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so you may have slept in on those days.
Yeah.
All right. And was there adults there? Were you assured that Jaylen was going to be taken care of?
Yes, if Kelly wasn't there, Kai was there. And if Kai wasn't there, there's Holly and there's Taylor, there's Ethan, there's Caitlin. There's so many people in the house that, if I was sleeping in for work, I didn't think there would be an issue if there was like 5 people in the house that would be willing to take care of her while I'm sleeping.
He testified that he would routinely drop you off for work, but you wouldn't go to work. You would go hang out with friends.
No, I go to work most of the majority of the days. I go to work, but my friend was moving out of his house and over into a different city in Washington. So come over there and help him out because he didn't have any other friends to help him out and pack and move. So it was like I only did that maybe 3 times.
So maybe on 3 occasions he dropped you off and then you went and helped your friend move.
Yeah, I'm just like packing everything, making sure he was all ready to go.
What would happen on the other days when he would drop you off?
I'd go to work,
And where would you go to work at?
either Foster Farms or Pacific Seafood, depending on which one I was going to at the time.
They brought up an issue with regards to, I think a food card or of some type. You know what?
Yeah, my EBT card.
Yeah, your EBT card. What was
Yeah.
that?
So my EBT card was supposed to be for me and Jaylen, because that's who I only put down was me and Jaylen on that food card.
All right.
And they wanted to use it. Well, I had no issue from them using it for the house and everything. But, you know, when that argument, because I still had the food stamps when I had that argument when they and they had that the assault charge that Kelly's bringing up that turned into a self-defense charge. When my wallet got dropped during that incident, my food stamps card was in my wallet. And when I got my wallet back from the police, I do believe is when I grabbed it, and nothing was in it. Not my food card, not Jaylen's social security card. None of that stuff was in my wallet. So they took everything out of my wallet. I don't know who it was, but someone took stuff out of my wallet during that altercation had started.
Well, they said you were using the food card to buy junk food for yourself.
No, you know, some junk food is fine, you know, but I wouldn't buy like a lot of junk food. It's not like I'd go buy pounds and pounds of candy or you know, really bad junk food. I'd buy good food. Like cereals, I'll buy cereal. You know, that's a good breakfast item for Jaylen to have in the morning is cereal. Eggs, you know, milk, you know, stuff like that.
All right.
Formula, I bought formula because I had Wick and Tanif. I bought formula for her. I've been buy diapers for her. You know, I had everything for her. You know, yeah, I didn't have a license at the time, but you know, that's because I couldn't go to the store because I didn't have my license. I'd only go if I had to.
Kai testified that he then asked you to move out. Can you explain to the court what was happening? And this was in June of 2021, I believe.
I do believe so. That is true. So when they kicked me out, they only gave me 2 options: to leave Jaylen with them. That's mainly the first option was leave him with her, leave Jaylen with him, and me living on the streets in Longview and have nowhere else to go because I have no friends in Longview or anything. So I would have been on the streets. Or I can leave Jaylen with them for the second option, and they'll buy me a train ticket and take me and send me to grandma's and give me $10. And believe this was during fall. You know, getting into the colder seasons up there and the rainy seasons up there, and I just did not want to be homeless.
Okay, so what happened after that? What did you do?
They gave me the $10 after I signed a document that I didn't even want to sign in the first place. I felt like I was being forced to sign the document for her temporary, I think it was a temporary a temporary guardianship affidavit that isn't really real. That wasn't court ordered or anything. That was found on the internet, just pulled off the internet. I mean, you could tell it was off the internet. There's major timeline issues on that document.
And just briefly, because we'll get into that in a little bit, but it was for 6 months.
Yep.
That you'd give them temporary guardianship, and then you'd get Jaylen back.
Yes, that was what was supposed to happen. Yes.
All right, and then you signed that, and you went down to Toledo to your grandmother's house.
Yes. Well, yeah. I was going to my grandma's, and then after I went to my grandma's, I stayed at my grandma's for maybe a couple days, and then I went down to my mother's.
Okay. Now, and then shortly after that, you came back up for somebody's graduation.
Yeah, I came up to see Holly's graduation. Holly Sue Ludwig.
Okay, that's your sister.
Yeah.
And an incident occurred after the graduation. Is that correct?
Yes, an incident did occur. The incident would be that Caitlin Boone was told me something that I guess wasn't true or whatever, and started the argument with me. And then I got mad and upset because I thought Kelly was, taking care of my kid wrong, or, they're having Jaylen call her mother, or she's taking control over over Jaylen. And
So let's back up. What did Caitlin say to you?
that I can't 100% remember what she told me. It was a while back. I remember that some of the she was talking to me about how Kelly was taking control over Jaylen and everything else like that, like trying to have Jaylen call her mom and everything. And
So
she's not mom.
You got upset about that.
Yeah, I got upset about it because she's not mom. She's grandmom, technically.
Right. And so you confronted Miss Craig.
Yeah, and they were already standing outside the door with their arms crossed, waiting for a fight.
Okay.
There would have been Taylor and Caitlin, or Kelly was outside waiting.
So what happened?
I got mad, called names that I probably shouldn't have said, but just names. I didn't, run at him. I didn't charge at him. I didn't hit him. I didn't, none of that. When they're saying that I hit her in the mouth and the lip, that's because when I got tackled to the ground, my arm went backwards, an open palm, and smacked her in the lip. That's what happened.
All right.
I mean,
You're going to have to start from the beginning here, Jayden, just real quick, just say what happened. You guys were kind of in a semicircle arguing.
Yeah.
And,
We were in like an argument. We're in an argument. And when that argument happened, Taylor Crape, Kelly's daughter, hit me with a bunch of keys on the head. So then
up behind you, or was she in front of you?
She was in front of me. She hit me in the head twice with the keys in front of me. So I pushed her away.
Okay, so she just attacked you.
She attacked me first, and then I pushed her away to try to avoid the attack.
Okay.
And then Kelly stepped in, saying, "Oh no, not my Taylor, or no, not my daughter," and stepped in and tried to, was trying to beat me up, trying to argue, push me away, and everything else. And I was trying to walk away, and they kept following me. And then Caitlin came out the door, tackled me, ripped my shirt off, ripped my jacket off, or whatever I had on, ripped it completely to shreds. I couldn't even wear the shirt after the whole incident. I had bruises on my legs, my back, my stomach, my arms. I mean, you could see the paperwork. I sent them in for the to the court today, or to the court here.
So Caitlin tackles you, and you go to the ground.
Yeah, I'll go to the ground, and my arm swings up open-handedly. And
all right, so go ahead.
Taylor was coming to kick me in the nuts. Kelly was coming to pull my hair and try to beat me up while I was on the ground, and I was just trying to get up and trying to leave.
All right. So in that process, you might have hit her.
Accidentally, whacked her in the mouth. It wasn't on purpose. It's not like I had a fist and punched her in the face. It's not true.
All right.
I would never punch a girl in the face, and I've learned that in the hard way.
So they had you on the ground, and they were pulling your hair and hitting you with keys, that kind of stuff. What happened after that? Did they?
I finally broke free and got up and left.
All right. Okay. All right. The police were called.
Yes, the police were called. I left the house because I didn't want to be right there. So I went to where my grandparents were staying at, the hotel room that they were staying at, and I just took a warm shower, try to calm down from what just happened,
All right. And you gave the police your version of the events.
Yes, I gave them the police the information of the event, and I did ask the officer before they left if they would like to see any of the bruises and everything that they caused on me, and then the officers told me no. Okay. And I walked away.
All right.
So.
All right. A protection order was filed against you at that point.
Yes, there was a protection order, and on that protection order, to my behalf, there was no third party communication on there. That's my first
restraining order.
Yeah, my first restraining order. And I was 19, 20 at the, coming around 21, 20 at the time, young, I don't know, I'm trying to provide, try to go, what's that word I'm looking for? Try to make sure I wasn't breaking any law on the third communication. So to me, the third communication was Kelly, her friends, Kai, anyone in the family, anyone in that sense, I did not want to contact because I was afraid that I was going to go to prison going to jail, because if I would have said something, someone could say something to Kelly, and then that's boom, that's third party communication
All right.
right there.
Did
And
that, your thoughts regarding that, did that include the daycare where Jaylen attended?
yeah, that's including the daycare.
Why
I
that?
couldn't go within, I think, 500 feet to 1,000 feet of the daycare or her house,
Okay,
because Kelly works at the daycare,
right.
and my restraining order was against Kelly. So if I would have went to her work, I would have been arrested in like 2 seconds flat, probably. I was looking out for my safety.
All right. And so you went, about a year without seeing Jaylen, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, because the restraining order was in effect for that whole entire year, because I had that court case going on with that whole incident between the whole graduation incident. That was going on for about a year.
Right, and it finally got dismissed.
Yes, no one emailed me saying it was dismissed, or my restraining order has been dropped. I didn't get that until October, until I called them.
So this is October of last year, 2022.
Yes.
All right.
And I didn't know until I called them.
Okay. And so what happened after that?
Well, I went up to Kai's place to get Jaylen back, because the restraining order was dropped. Everything was dropped. The temporary guardianship affidavit was no longer in effect. So I wanted, as a parent, wanted my kid back.
Okay.
And they told me no. So
Go ahead.
So I told him, well, okay, well, I'll speak to an officer about this to see what will happen, and we'll figure it out. So I called 911 and asked them, and they said, well, the best thing to do, since you didn't have a year, in which I agreed to it. And I said, okay, well, we will. He said, well, why don't you make visitations to come up and see Jaylen, to see if you guys still have your bond, and if not, build your bond, and then you would be able to take her home. But after that, then Kelly comes up and hits me with this court case.
Your Honor, I'm just going to do an objection a little late, but technical difficulties, objection to hearsay, just because that officer isn't here today. And sorry, I'm just going to have to leave my microphone on.
Okay, the objection is noted. It's overruled at this point.
All right. Okay, so go ahead. So the agreement was with Kai and Kelly, what was it at that point?
The agreement would have been them to have Jaylen until the bond between me and Jaylen was rebuilt.
So you guys were going to start, and you had an overnight when you came up here.
Yes, I had my first overnight before the whole court thing, before they got scared and freaked out.
Okay. So you had an overnight with Jaylen, and they were going to move this along whereby they would transfer Jaylen back to you.
Yeah, I was trying to do that without having to come to court with them. I was going to be, responsible, trying to get her back, as a father should. I was trying to be polite, trying to make sure everything is all good and smooth sailing between the transactions for
Right.
Jaylen to come back to me, transition between them and me.
Right.
So that's what I was going to do. And then,
but instead this action was begun.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. One of the allegations that they have brought up against you is with regards to medical care for Jaylen. What's your response to that?
I had when I was living in Oregon, I had Oregon healthcare. She was on Oregon healthcare. She was on medical in Oregon. And then when I moved to Washington, I got that switched over from Oregon to Washington. So she was on Washington medical, and I did take her to go get some shots in Idaho, and everything. They do not have, when I tried contacting them, I guess I couldn't find any of the documents, but I did take her to them, and she did have a couple shots because I got was scared because she had eczema.
Mhm.
She had that, and that freaked me out a little bit when I had her she was in my custody. So I went to the doctor and everything, and she got given eczema cream over the counter or over the prescribed.
Right.
And
so what would you do? Did you apply that?
yeah, I'd apply it. I'd apply it on where the spots were at.
Okay. And their indication is that she had hearing loss when she came to live with them?
I don't think she had hearing loss, because every time in the car we play music, she'd dance to it. To me, she'd look at me and everything, hear everything. When she was even 3 months old, when I had her when she was 3 months, she didn't look like or hear that she had any hearing loss or any of that.
But at this point, the hearing loss, the restraining order was in effect, and so you didn't have any access to her. Had you been present, what would have you done?
If I was present, she would have gotten either, if she did have hearing loss, I would have done the same thing that they would have done. You know, it would have been exactly the same. You know, me taking her to the doctor, she needs hearing testing, then she would have gotten hearing testing.
All right. Now going forward, what is your plan with regards to her Jaylen's medical care?
Jaylen's medical, with the work that I'm working at now with Forest River, it's got everything: medical, dental, vision, everything.
And that includes Jaylen?
Yep, that can be added for Jaylen. Jaylen could be added onto any of the dental, vision, medical, everything from work. So it wouldn't be from the state; it'd be from work. It'd be coming out of my pocket.
All right. And where will Jaylen be living when she's returned to you?
So if she's returned to me, we'll be living over at my grandparents until I'm able to save money in order to go buy a place or rent a place or rent to own, or I'm still looking. I was looking in the newspaper today and I see houses selling over here for about 200, 600,000. I mean, money that a 23-year-old does not have.
Right. So that's your grandparents in Toledo, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And where do you currently reside?
Wouldn't say that I'm residing here at Michelle's place, but I'm staying here at Michelle's place right now because to me it's cheaper in gas to go up and back and forth. Instead of having to drive 4 hours, I'm driving an hour and a half.
So that's to come up to here for your time with Jaylen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's in what city?
She's in Longview or Jaylen right now.
No.
Yes.
What city you said you're staying temporarily with Michelle? That's in Silverton.
Yeah, it's in Silverton for temporary for right now because it's cheaper for me to go up and see Jaylen. So that way I can try to save some money, even though it's kind of not working right now. But I'm still.
Where are you working?
I work over at Forest River. It's a tractor manufacturing company. They make trailers. I believe there's over 1,000 factories in the US and other states. I looked that up.
Where are they located?
The one I'm working at right now is in Silverton, Oregon.
All right. And what time do you go in?
I get up at 6:35 in the morning, and I gotta be there at 7. It's a 3-minute drive from where I'm at right now.
Okay. And then what time do you get off?
I get off at about 3:30.
All right.
Maybe a little later, over time.
And do you plan on keeping this job when you get Jaylen?
Yeah, because this is my 7th month working there.
All right.
And I already have medical and dental and vision and everything else already ready to go. That all I need to do is just have Jaylen put on it. If I start out from a new job, then I have to wait another certain amount of months or days in order to go back on medical through a company, and I don't want to restart.
So how would this work with Jaylen? You got to explain this to the court.
So Jaylen, I would get up earlier. If I'm at my grandparents, I'd get up earlier. I probably get up about 5, maybe 5:25 in the morning. And get up and everything and get Jaylen ready in the morning around 5:30 and get her dressed, get her teeth brushed, get her showered if she needs to in the morning, and feed her. And then I'd go after that. After I'd feed her, I'd go to work. I'd go out and get ready for work and go to work and drive all the way over here in Silverton for work right at the moment, because that's where I'm wanting to live I would not in Silverton, but I would like to live in the area up here where it's a bigger city, where there's more things, better schooling, better schooling, better doctors, better medical stuff, better vision, better stuff up here in bigger cities instead of the small cities, where she should be able to make more friends than a small town, where she will be happy and, everything will be taken care of up here.
Okay, and so you'd get up in the morning. Is Jaylen up early? Is she an early riser?
I do believe so from the text messages from Kai or Kelly or phone calls between them. I think that she gets up around 5:40 or 6 o'clock in the morning to
Okay.
get ready for daycare.
Okay, and then you would go to work. How far is it from Toledo to Silverton?
About an hour and 40 minutes,
All right.
depending
So
on traffic.
you, Jaylen would be up. She's an early riser. You'd feed her, take off to work, drive the hour and 40 minutes, get off at 3:30. Then what do you do?
And then I go home back to Jaylen.
So you'd be home to
No later than
Toledo.
maybe in Toledo, no later than 3:30, 3, 4, probably about 4 or 5 o'clock at night. So it'll be early enough that she'll still be able to see me before dinner and before she goes to bed.
Okay. And you
that's only-
plan on doing that until you find housing in Silverton. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, Silverton or Salem area. I did have what was it? Applications for what is it? Low income housing. I am getting put into that waiting list. I'm just trying to do everything as a 23-year-old male adult, parent should at least try to look for a place and everything. Houses and rental stuff is a little expensive.
If would you, from your understanding, looking into it, will you qualify for low income housing if you have custody of Jaylen?
Yes.
Okay. And it's
If I had Jaylen in my custody, the whole on that waiting list, they would put me in closer to the top tier of the waiting list since I would have a kid.
okay. All right. Now, what would happen with Jaylen while you were away at work?
Like I'll be putting her in daycare. If it's
Have
in Toledo, she'll be in daycare, or if it's in Salem, Silverton area, she'll still be put in daycare. Nothing will change.
All right. And because she's been going to daycare while she's been with
Kelly, yes.
right. Okay. So she would how would she get to daycare?
With me, with when she's in my custody, how would I take her?
Yeah.
I'd take her in my reliable car.
Okay. So you would drop her off early in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how would she get back from daycare? I mean,
So if I'm gonna try to find a daycare that she gets off around that pretty much almost kind of the same time I do.
okay.
So I can tell my work I can get off my work a little bit early if I have to, if it's something to do with taking care of my kid, picking her up from daycare. I can definitely make my work will help me schedule around trying to take care of Jaylen me picking her up from daycare.
All right. And then what about the weekends?
So the weekends, I don't work weekends.
Okay.
I don't work any weekends while I'm working over here at Forest River. There's no weekends I work on. So I have Saturday, Sunday off. We can do anything on Saturday and Sunday. We'll have the full day together because she doesn't have school on Saturday and Sundays, and I don't work on Saturdays, Sundays. So we'll have all day Saturday and Sunday to do anything that she wants to do. Or if she's got any doctor appointments, I can take off work and do so.
You mentioned that you'd make sure Jaylen, if she needed a bath, she'd be bathed and ready to go.
Yeah.
Have you done that in the past?
I did bathe her in the past. Yes.
Okay. Because there was testimony, I think, from both Kelly and Kai that you weren't doing that.
I would at least try to, and I've done some of them while I was in their care. But yet Kelly is kind of it's like her way or highway, and she would step in.
And then what about yourself? Maybe I asked you that, but your own hygiene.
I take showers. Maybe not often that anybody likes, but I do take showers. I'm taking more showers lately because I work a sweat job, so I smell bad every time I get home from work.
So at this time, every time you get home from work?
Yeah.
All right.
If I don't pass out, but yeah.
Do you have doctors lined up for Jaylen's care?
Yes, I do have a doctor that is taking patients At the moment, yes.
Okay. And that's in Toledo?
Yes, that would be, well, it'll be Newport.
Okay.
The doctor's office is in Newport, but yes, it is right by Toledo.
Mr. Agnostic, I just saw there was a note that looks like Ms. Winkles dropped off the call. So we should probably
We
pause.
should probably stop.
Yeah, I agree. So let's just pause for a second. I assume she'll try to get back in. All right, so we'll continue with the.
All right. Jayden, I wanted to go over one issue that's been brought up during this case, and that was an allegation that Jaylen has been to Michelle Harrington's home.
Yeah, she's never been here. She'll never will come here. I am a responsible adult. I know if it's safe or not, or who's safe and who's not safe to be around my child. Everything. She's not gonna show up here at all. She ain't gonna be here. I mean, I want make sure that she's safe. That's my first priority, is making sure she's safe. Making sure she's safe around people. Making sure that she's in a safe and good place.
Right. You recall the declaration of your father, Kai Ludwig, with regards to this issue?
Yes. There was a photo that I put in court here because they were saying that I don't give Jaylen naps. Well, the picture that I did send in, they're saying that it's Michelle's place. It's not Michelle's place. That was Red Lion Hotel in Kelso, Washington, and not Oregon. I currently found out why Jaylen thinks that we go to her place, Michelle's place.
Well, yeah, yeah. But the point is, she hasn't. She's never been.
No, she hasn't, and she won't.
And if she thinks the hotel room is Michelle's place, then that's a 3-year-old.
Yeah, she can think McDonald's is Burger King, I bet,
Right. Okay.
So
as part of discovery, you were asked to provide your Google
takeout
tracking. Yeah. You had to work with my staff to get that. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Was that an easy thing to do?
Kind of, but not really. Trying to figure out everything that needed to, everything that needed that they wanted. Trying to find everything that they wanted and everything.
And then we had a hearing, and you were accused of taking Jaylen to Silverton, Oregon. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
And you looked at those Google printouts, and what did they show?
They showed that I was not here in Silverton, Oregon with Jaylen on that said date that Kai or Kelly is saying that she's been here. She hasn't. If you look at the Google takeout, it'll tell you exactly where we were by latitude and longitude. You can type in those coordinates onto Google Maps, and Google Maps will pinpoint exactly where that location is.
And where were you?
I was in Kelso and over at the Red Lion Motel.
Right. And I thought there was some indication you were in Silver Lake, Washington.
Silver Lake, Washington, picking her up when I was picking her up when I was picking her up at Kai's or Kelly's place, or when I was dropping her off at Kai's and Kelly's place.
All right. And so from those records, anytime you've had Jaylen, no trips to Silverton, Oregon.
No trips to Oregon at all.
Okay.
Because I thought that was one of the things that I'm not supposed to be doing to take Jaylen into Oregon. I thought that was part of the whole court case, and I am what is that word? Trying to make sure I'm not doing anything that I'm not supposed to from what the court's telling me what to do.
All right. At this point, Your Honor, I would like to do screen sharing. So I just hit this down here, right? This is actually, Your Honor, Exhibit 101. I pulled up the wrong one initially.
Okay.
Okay, Jayden, kind of quickly, what is this a picture of?
So that's a picture of the room that Jaylen is sleeping in.
Okay, where is this located?
That would be located in Toledo, Oregon at my grandparents
All
at
right.
115.
And go ahead. This is just
That's just more of the room. Picture of the room. You can see that there's some toys right there in the corner on the side of the dresser, on the clock. You know,
Right.
she has some toys in there. She's got a dresser in there. She's got a bed.
Right.
Picture more of the picture. That's the door to get out of the bedroom to the main of the house.
And at one point, did you and your father and sister live in this residence?
Yes, we did. Me and Kai, we slept in that same bedroom that is on screen right now.
All right. And go ahead. What's this?
That is the kitchen / living room area. So that is the kitchen. There's more of the kitchen. There's the shower.
And as you're going through these pictures, looks like there's a number in the lower right corner. Could you just specify that number when addressing or describing the photos?
Okay. I apologize, Your Honor. We have gone through 1 through 8 of this exhibit, and we're on exhibit number 8.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So that is the bathroom.
All right. And this is number 9.
Number 9 is the laundry room.
All right. And then 10. What's 10?
10, that is when me and her went out to go eat.
All right. When was this?
That's when I had my visit. I was having my visitations with Jaylen.
Can you briefly describe your relationship with your daughter?
Relationship between me and Jaylen, to me, it is wonderful. We have a loving bond. Just yesterday, she wanted me and didn't really want to let go. You know.
So you had a visit this weekend.
Yes, I did.
Was it a Saturday and a Sunday?
Yes, it was a Saturday and Sunday. Yes.
Okay. And all right. You had did you drive up both days or did you have to get a room?
We got a room.
Okay. So on some occasions you can't afford a room, so you're driving both days.
Yes.
And just for clarity's sake, that exhibit that has 10 in the bottom corner, that's as part of exhibit 102, just so we're clear. So exhibit 102 contains the photo that has the bottom right corner, number 10. Thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor. Go ahead. Exhibit number 11.
So exhibit number 11, I think that is the same restaurant.
And I apologize, Jayden, it's exhibit 2, page number 11.
Exhibit 102.
102.
Yeah, 102. Yeah.
I'll get to that. And this is the same thing. Okay, so we're going to go to exhibit 103. What is this?
To me, that right there looks like a dog scratch. If you see the 3 scratch marks, I do not think a child.
What is this a picture of?
That is a picture of Jaylen.
So that's Jaylen's, basically her belly.
Yeah.
Okay, and you took that on one of your visits up here?
Yes, I did. It was April 29th of 2023 at 1:45 p.m.
All right. Go ahead. What's your concern about this?
I was concerned that it was from a dog and not a child. If you can see the scratch marks, it's 3 scratch marks and not 4 or 5 scratch marks on her stomach.
And do the petitioners have dogs?
Yes, the petitioners have about 4, maybe 5, but I believe they have 4. They have a couple of big mastiffs, and I believe they have a pit bull mix, which is I think a runt, a mutt, or so whatever the pit bull's mixed with, and then some other type of dogs that I'm not aware of what kind they are.
And picture number 14 is just another picture of that.
Yes, it's just another photo. I was trying to make it sure it wasn't blurry, but
These are so I'm on exhibit number 104, page 15. What is this?
that is a text message between me and Kelly. Looks like 11/03/2022, 6:55. I was going to read a book to Jaylen, and we did. We did read a book that night.
All right. And why did you submit these as evidence?
I believe it's from the time, the time date stamps on them. If you look at them, there's some of them that say that I called. I don't know.
Have you been having issues with regards to your phone contact with Jaylen?
I had a couple issues, trying to get in contact with her. I tried calling at 7. Sometimes they don't answer directly at 7 o'clock. Sometimes it's later. I believe there was an incident, a text message incident between Kai and me. I tried texting Kai, which I think it's,
So this is exhibit number 23 or page number 23 of that exhibit.
yeah. I submitted that one in because Kelly wanted my lawyer's address or address or email. I didn't feel it was, I didn't know. I'm only 23, like I said, but I didn't know if that's something that I didn't know. So I sent that to Kurt to see if he wanted to give her the information. And
All right. And then what is page 24?
page 24 is, I was texting him. I was almost there. Pick up Jaylen. I do believe that's a weekend date. But they were at Applebee's and they were getting ready to eat.
Have there been issues with your phone contact with Jaylen?
Other than sometimes they don't answer the phone right away. Sometimes, I believe there's a text message in there between me and Kai.
What is this?
That is looks like a Christmas party, that Kelly or Kai wanted to go to, and it started at 6 p.m. It started at the time that my drop off was, and they wanted me to drop her off early so they can have time to get there. So I know that they're saying that I dropped her off because I don't want to spend time with her, and I don't want to be by her or anything. That is completely 100% false. I do want to be by my kid. I do want my kid, and I love my kid and everything. It's just so they wanted me to drop her off early, so I did, so that way they can get to this Christmas party on time.
Right.
I had to go to work on that day. So I wanted to call in. I either wanted to call early or the next day. So that way I can, that way will still be able to have my phone call visit with Jaylen.
All right. And did they work with you with regards to changing times and being able to communicate with Jaylen?
Sometimes they did. Sometimes they wouldn't. There's some text messages in there so I hear on the same one on 46. It says, I was wondering if you could send me Jaylen with her Mickey DVDs with her, the DVDs that I got her for Christmas. I still have not seen them. I didn't get any of them back, even though that she said yes, I didn't get them. So I had to go buy more DVD stuff for her too, so we were able to watch more movies.
These messages, who are you communicating with? Is it Kai or Kelly?
This one is Kelly. 0204 is Kelly Crape.
Okay. All right.
So on page 48, I'm off tomorrow. Will that call be okay? Same time, and will 7 work for you in the morning on Thursday? Yeah. So I had to go to work. I work at nights when I was working at Domino's. I would do swing shift as well, so I work late. So I would be working at 7 o'clock at night. So I wanted to set some times so I can get a hold of her. And have a conversation with Jaylen at a different time where I'm not working. All
right. So this says your message to them. Sorry, I messaged Kai asking if it was a good time to call, but no response.
Yeah. I didn't know. I don't know what days he works because 1 week's it's days, 1 week's it's nights. So it's kind of hard to figure out who to contact.
No, you're talking about Kai. Kai works days and nights.
Yes, Kai works days and nights. So it's kind of hard to figure out if I should contact Kelly or if I should contact Kai. Because sometimes Kelly doesn't have Jaylen with her. Kai does. Sometimes Kai doesn't have Jaylen and Kelly does. So I tried texting Kai because I thought Kai had Jaylen. So I sent a message to Kai, but I got no response from Kai. So then at that point, I gave it a little bit to see if I would get a text message from Kai, but I didn't. So then I texted Kelly that I texted Kai and I had no response. And then that's when she told me he was working.
I'd like to move the admission of those documents that we referenced. Do you see that?
Yes.
What is that?
That's Jaylen in the bathtub.
Where?
That'll be over at Melody Boone's place.
Okay. And who was giving her a bath?
That would have been me.
Okay.
I did. I mean, in this picture, you can see that there's toys for Jaylen for bath toys. In the back, on the back wall, there's baby soap for her hair. You know,
Looks like toys too.
yeah, there's some toys. There's some toys on the floor too, right up next to her eczema cream that she had that I've had to put her on.
Okay. Page 51. Briefly, what's that?
Yep, that would be me and Jaylen laying in bed and over at the night. I believe it was nighttime over at Kai and Kelly's.
Okay. Exhibit number 52.
Exhibit 52 is me feeding Jaylen at Melody Boone's place.
Okay. Exhibit 53.
Exhibit 53 is with me and Jaylen. I can't. Looks like she's a little young in this photo. So that's where it's probably taken. I think when she's about maybe 4 or 5 months.
All right.
Maybe a little bit older than that.
Exhibit number 54.
That would be with me and Jaylen. Trying to teach her how to walk, but I'm taking a photo of her because I got it changed too. So clean clothes.
Exhibit 55.
55. That's a newer edition photo that I added for the visitations that I was doing with Jaylen. They were saying that I feed her nothing but junk food. Well, in this picture, it's showing that she's eating healthy.
All right. And is this standard what you would feed her?
Yes, it is. There's special occasions I'll take her into McDonald's, you know.
And exhibit number 57.
Exhibit 57, that is the photo that Kai presumes it is Michelle Harrington's place, which it isn't. Because if you look at the timestamp right below the number 57, May 27th of 2023 at 2:24 p.m. That was her taking a nap over at the Red Lion hotel room. And that's when they think that Jaylen was taken down to Michelle's place in Oregon.
All right.
And that's the same photo that she's taking a nap too. So that provides more information that I am providing her with nap time too.
All right. There was a complaint that she was coming back tired and exhausted.
We run, play all day. I mean, what 3-year-old isn't going to be exhausted at the end of the day if they're going to be playing outside all day?
But you're giving her naps, is that correct?
Yeah, this photo is showing that I do give Jaylen naps.
All right.
And it's kind of hard giving a 3-year-old naps too when she doesn't want to take a nap, you know, or it doesn't feel like taking a nap. I still try to put her down for a nap, but you know, sometimes it's hard to put a 3-year-old down for a nap if she doesn't want to take a nap.
And then when you just get the day visits, where did you have yeah, go ahead.
So if I had a hotel room, just say at the hotel room, you sometimes will be in the car because I don't have the money to go ahead and afford a hotel room because I keep coming when I come up to visit Jaylen every weekend. So if I got money for a hotel room, would get it. She can sleep in the hotel room, play in the hotel room. If she wanted to play, you know, she can do everything that she wants to do and stay dry. Especially on sweat days.
Right. When you didn't have a hotel, would you put her down for a nap in the car?
Yeah. I would have had to, yes.
How'd that work?
At the beginning when she first started doing it, it was kind of hard for her because it's a new place to nap for her, because that's usually where she doesn't usually take a nap at. But you know, she takes naps now in the car when I don't have a hotel room, just fine. You know, she doesn't fuss about taking a nap or anything to me at all.
Okay. 58.
58. Yeah, I was taking her out to dinner. I mean, she had a healthy lunch. So, you know, figured, okay, well, I don't want to be late dropping her off. So I'd take her out to fast food in order to cook for her because I don't have a home to go to and cook. Like I said, sometimes I don't have enough money for hotel rooms, so I can't cook in there, and they don't have kitchen appliances in hotel rooms. So it's kind of hard to do such on feeding wise. But if I had Jaylen in my custody, she wouldn't have been, she won't be eating McDonald's every day. It's not the food that will be feeding her every day. would be feeding her healthy foods, homemade foods, stuff, because I'd be having an oven, microwave, or whatever that, I'll have those kitchen appliances to go ahead and make her dinners, lunches, and breakfasts.
Let me go to picture 61. What's this?
61, we decided to go try out the movie theater. We saw a kids show. I think it was Puss in Boots, The Afterlife, the new Puss in Boots movie. I seen trailers of it. It looked okay for a kid to watch. It was animated. It was for the kid group. So we went and watched Puss in Boots over in the movie theater, and she loved it. I mean, she carried our popcorn that we shared. She had a great time.
Okay, let me jump down here to 65.
65 here is just for breakfast. Because I don't I'll feed her breakfast / lunch, like a brunch type of thing. This was at 5:44 p.m. on this photo. But taking her out to not fast food, really. It's more of a sit down restaurant. And not fast food, because this was over at Sherry's, and so she wanted pancakes for dinner. So special treat.
All right, and there was an allegation that you weren't feeding her before you brought her back to the petitioners.
Yeah, I would feed her. I'd feed her throughout the day when she's hungry. Snacks, when she's hungry, healthy snacks, not just junk food snacks.
Now, did you have conversations with the petitioners where they would ask you not to feed her?
No. So they told me that they had Sunday night dinners for family.
All right.
And for the court telling me that wants me to feed Jaylen dinners, breakfasts, and lunch and everything, or whatever that, wanted me to feed her. So as a responsible adult, I'd feed the kid, because it's part of a parent's responsibility to feed a child. So I'd feed Jaylen, and sometimes she's still hungry. I mean, she's growing. She's a 3-year-old kid that's really growing really quick, really fast. And yeah, to me, that she's just going to be hungry all the time, because that's what growing kids do. They eat a lot of food.
Right. Let's go on to 66.
66. This is a day that we went to the park. We go to the park quite often when it's nice out. We go slide down the slides. We'd swing on the swing sets together. I'd push her on the swing set, and then she'd tell me to swing just as high as she is. So I'd get on the next swing that's right next to her, and swing with Jaylen back and forth, and everything quite well. Then I get up, and she'll tell me that she wants to go a little bit more faster when she starts slowing down again, and then I'll get up from the swing and I'll push her again. Slides, she likes to go down the slides. I make sure she's okay and careful. I climb up with Jaylen when she's climbing up on the playground structures, so that way she's not going to fall. I have my hand not around her, but I have my hand ready just in case if she's going to fall, so that way she doesn't get hurt. So I'm trying to be there to protect Jaylen. If she does fall, then yeah, I have band-aids and a first aid kit if she does fall and hurt herself.
Okay, let's jump down here to 69.
On page 69, I bought a couple of RC cars and stuff like that with Jaylen, so that way we can have some stuff, some more different things to do around the park, where she had a blast driving those RC cars with me. We had fun,
Okay, and then we have 72. What is this?
72. It's I got her a bowling set with bowling pins and a couple bowling balls at Walmart. I think it's the place where I bought them at. And we went bowling at the park. I set them up. I had Jaylen try setting them up with me in order to help her learn how to set up a bowling alley type thing where we can bowl together. And she had a blast.
All right. And then we have 73.
73. We went to McDonald's and to eat a little bit. I sat down with her. She sat down with me, wanted to get on my lap. So I let her, and we just waited for our food to get there and everything.
Okay. 74.
74. That's her napping. On the way to Kind Kelly's, or she was napping, waiting for no, she was just napping. Yeah, 1:54 p.m. Yeah, she was just napping.
I would move the admission of exhibit 10, that's 106, Your Honor.
And Ms. Winkles, you said no objection, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, 106 and 105 are admitted.
Okay, Jayden, we're gonna go real quick to exhibit 107. And we got some pictures here. And what are these pictures of?
Those are pictures of the first case between me and Kelly, for the self-defense case. That got switched over to self-defense, that case. These are all the photos between for the altercation between Kelly, Taylor, and Caitlin.
So what,
They were all coming at me, hitting me, kicking me, scratching me. These are just all the photos of all the bruises and everything that I've got from them.
what is picture number 77? What is it a picture of?
That is a picture of my leg. It's kind of hard to see, but all the white spots on the leg right there is all. That's all the where I got hurt and scraped at.
Okay. And what about number 78?
78, I got scratched either it looks like a scratch and a bruise from either Kelly or Taylor.
Okay. And where is this on your body? Where is it?
That right there is right here on my chest,
Okay.
right here.
And then we have 79.
79, that would be on my arm, right around here,
And what is that?
on my elbow. Those are some more bruises and from grabbing my arm.
Okay. And then we have picture 80.
Yeah, 80. That's another scratch mark right here right above my sling ridge nipple, right above my nipple. There's it's on this side. Here, that's the tattoo of the triangle that I have on this side.
And 81.
81. Can you scroll up just a little bit?
Scroll up a little bit. Sure.
Yes. That right there looks like another underneath the armpit type thing. Right down here. Maybe around here on my underneath my armpit and right outside my stomach.
And then the last one we have is 82.
Yes, 82. That's another bruise right by my ankle. You can see that there's a bruise right there. That is another bruise from that incident.
I'd move the admission of those exhibits, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
107 is admitted.
Jayden, this is a document. Can you see that, Jayden?
Yes.
This is a document that the petitioners have included in their trial brief indicating that you were no-show and those type of things on a lot of visits. You have a response to this?
Yes, I do. I was working over at Domino's. My schedule from Domino's is a swing shift. I didn't get off until 8, 10 night. Because when I was working at Domino's, I was trying to be trained to become a manager. So I was working a little late.
And where were you working at in Domino's? Which Domino's?
There'll be Domino's over here in Silverton, Oregon. I got that job before that way I would have money to be able to visit Jaylen and get everything situated and get everything started.
All right. So go ahead. You were working the swing shift and you had phone contact with Jaylen, correct?
Yeah, I had the 7 o'clock phone calls that I was supposed to be doing, but while at work, working at a fast food joint over at Domino's, somewhat fast food. They weren't. I go through work and sometimes I just forget because I work between my calls. We get big orders all the time. I think we had like a 30 pizza order. Someone ordered like 30 pizzas and everything, and I had to make them because that's my job, is making pizzas. So I didn't have time to do my break at 7, to do my phone calls at 7. I was working.
All right. Did you try to rearrange these so that you could have your phone calls with Jaylen?
I do believe I did on some of them, not all of them, but I did on most of them.
All right. Did you tell Kelly and Kai in advance that you would be working?
I thought I told them that I was working at Domino's. I might have not, but I thought I did. If I didn't, that was on my end. But
this is the guardian ad litem report, and the guardian ad litem was Sherry Farr, correct?
Yes, it does look like that.
Okay, but I'm asking a question. Your guardian appointed in your case was Sherry Farr.
Oh, yes.
Yes. How many times did Miss Farr see you personally with Jaylen?
None. I did email her at one point and asked her if she would like to meet in person with me and Jaylen. She told me no, because this is not an investigation. We're not in the investigation state yet. So she told me no, that she's not going to come up and see me. So to me, that's she refused to come up and see me, even though I asked her if there's a place that she'd like to meet up at, maybe see me interact with Jaylen and have her actually physically see me instead of over Zoom.
All right. So she never saw you with Jaylen personally?
No, not in person.
Okay. And on this exhibit, page 7, at line 2, it starts off, it says Jayden assaulted petitioner Kelly Creighton. Is that a correct statement?
The assaulted petitioner, that's incorrect, because the petitioners actually assaulted me.
All right. Are you concerned about this being in her report with regards to her attitude regarding you?
Yeah, because she's got all that information all wrong. If she would have looked into the actual case and everything, it would have told her that it was switched over from domestic assault or assault to a self-defense. It was switched over to self-defense instead of the assault charge, because that's what happened. They assaulted me first, and then my attorney at the time got it switched over from assault to the self-defense.
Okay.
So I was never convicted or thrown in prison or thrown in jail over this.
All right. She indicates at line 17, if you can see that the grandmother is 189 miles from Silverton. Is that a correct statement?
189 miles from Silver Lake, Washington to Toledo, Oregon. That is completely false. It is.
You've already testified that it was 91 or something like that.
It's 91 from Toledo to Silverton, Oregon. I think there's looking at Toledo, Oregon to Silver Lake, Washington.
And the point is, had you explained to the guardian ad litem the arrangements for Jaylen when you got custody, that she would be in Toledo?
Yes, I told her that we'll be living in Toledo at my grandparents' house and went to Toledo, Oregon, until I was able to either save enough money to find my own apartment or my own place to live that's closer to my job. And I told her that I was staying over here in Silverton just for temporary. It's not, so it was all temporary that I'm staying here. So that way it's easier for me to get there. And I'm not spending thousands of dollars to get back and forth from one spot to, next spot, That way I'll be able to somewhat save money to at least try to.
All right. On page 13 of the Guardian Ad litem report, she indicates that at line 5, Jayden has returned the child to petitioners in dirty and wet clothing, even though extra clothing is provided to Jaylen or Jayden for his visits.
So no, she didn't get wet. She spilled a little bit of ice cream on her shirts. She gets a little dirty. I tried cleaning it up. And then by the time I was cleaning it up, Kelly just pulled in and I didn't have time to change her. So I figured, well, since Kelly is going to be taking her to the house where she's got clothes, why give her the clothes that I bought? Because I won't see them again. That's what I feel like. I won't see any of the clothes that I've given her again. So why I didn't feel like if I changed her right then and there, it wouldn't have helped anyways, because Kelly would have probably went home and changed her anyways. She didn't get home soaking wet. No, it's not soaking wet. Soaking wet to me is when your shirt's completely wet, like you got out of a pool. That is soaking wet.
Right.
She was never soaking wet. She wasn't in a dirty diaper and dirty underwear. She didn't pee herself. She, there's some of them, they were saying that she did have an accident. Yeah, but she had an accident, but I did take care of that accident. It's because I couldn't find a restroom. As I was in Castle Rock, and every other place that I went to didn't have public restrooms.
Do you have a concern about Ms. Farr's report?
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff that she's saying, like I know she's in in her report that I smoke in the car. No, I don't smoke in the car with Jaylen in the car, because it's not what I do. If I don't have Jaylen and in my work car, yeah, I'll smoke, but I have a odor spray, takes it right out. Can't smell anything. I mean, I try to make sure my car smells great, or the car that I'm in smells great. There's nothing, I don't smoke in the car with her at all. I don't drive high with her in the car. I don't do that. gotta be a responsible adult about things.
Now, she made a recommendation that you take a parenting class. Did you take one?
So I did take one online, but they don't believe that I took it. So here in October, I think it's the beginning of October, I have another parenting class I will be going to. And this one will I believe it is over Zoom. Because I can't take days off of work to go up to Washington to do a parenting class, because if I do, then I'm running out of money to see and visit her on the weekends, and I don't want to do that. So I decided to do mine over Zoom. So that way I still have money to do things with Jaylen.
Right.
And go up there.
But you took a class and got a certificate for that.
Yes, I did. It was a 4-hour class. I do believe it was a 4-hour class, and I did get a certificate for that.
And the petitioners have complained about that, so you signed up for another one.
Yes.
Do you think that the court should hold up returning custody of Jaylen to you until you get that completed?
Well, that is up to is up to.
My question is, do you want to return?
I would like to see her return to me. When I'm doing these, when I'm doing my parenting classes, that way it shows that I can take care of Jaylen when I have Jaylen in my care and everything.
So the request is, as trial, that she should be returned to you. You'll complete the course, but
oh yeah, no, I'll still complete the course because I paid for it, or it's going to be paid for. I'm still going to take the class. I'm not going to just stop and not do any of the classes. I'm going to be doing all the classes. It starts October. I'm going to do them, get them done, and everything. I'm going to try to get everything done that needs to be done.
Okay. Okay, this is page 20 of the petitioner's documents. Do you know what that document is?
Isn't this the paperwork that is when I got Jaylen, when I got sole custody of Jaylen?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you testified about that CPS was involved, or the equivalent of Oregon's Child Services.
Yeah, they were, but they weren't after me. They were after the mother.
Right. Okay.
So that is the restraining order that Kelly put on me. As it says, as you guys can read, if you guys can see that it says that you are also ordered to not go within 1,000 feet of the following locations. So Silver Lake, Washington. And there was no third-party communication to the victim. Well, okay, that is to Kelly Crape, since she's the victim. So I couldn't do anything with the daycare because Kelly worked at that daycare. So if I showed up to that daycare, I'd probably been charged and put in jail for showing up because she had a restraining order. And the third communication contact, well, I was 19, or was I 21? I was 21, and this is my first restraining order. And to me, that made me scared, is that no third party communication to the victim. Well, to me, in my mind, as a 21-year-old, for no third party contact is no contacting Kelly's friends, no contacting Kai, and no contacting anyone in the household. Because if I would have, to me, my thought, if I contacted to anybody in that household, it would have gotten back to Kelly one way or another. And then to me, that's me I'll be breaking the restraining order, and yet I would still be placed under arrest. And I did not want to be in that position. So I just stopped communication until the whole thing was dropped. And I believe that took about a year.
Okay. This is Exhibit 13 that the petitioners sent you interrogatories that you had to answer under oath. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. And this is your answer with regards, this is page 134, with regards to where you're living.
Yes.
Okay. And in your answers to interrogatories, my current address, physical address, your grandmother's residence.
Yes.
Okay. And then you say on a temporary basis, in the second paragraph, you're staying with Michelle Harrington.
Yes, on a temporary basis. Yes.
Okay. And did you make this clear to the guardian ad litem that that's what was going to happen?
Yeah, I told her that this is temporary because this is cheaper for me to drive back and forth. That way I'll be able to save money for, my bills that I have to pay, my car insurance bill I have to pay. I try saving money up for that. It would have been way hard. I wouldn't be able to probably wouldn't have insurance if I would have been driving from Toledo, Oregon to Silver Lake, Washington. I probably wouldn't have any money for car insurance, gas for work week or anything. This just gives me the opportunity where I'm at now, where I can get back and forth to work. And I can still come up and see Jaylen on the weekends.
What?
So it gives me that opportunity where I'm at right now for temporary.
The guardian ad litem indicated that you had told her that you were living with Michelle Harrington.
No, so I'm not living with Michelle Harrington. Like I tried telling her, this is temporary. This isn't permanent, because I'll be moving back over to my grandparents' house over in, you know, that's where I'll be living. This is just temporary until I get Jaylen back.
What, at this time, Jayden, what are you asking the court to do?
Well, I would like to see Jaylen back in my care. Yeah, I had ups and downs when I was younger, but what first parent doesn't have ups and downs? You know, we all learn from our mistakes. We're all human. You know, we make mistakes and we learn from those mistakes. You know, I've learned a lot since I've, you know, and since I'm still growing and learning and everything. I've learned a lot so far, and I'm still planning on learning more and everything for everything that Jaylen needs and everything. So, I mean, I like to see her back in my care, where that way I can have those opportunities where I can bathe her, clean her, feed her, and take her to naps, take her to daycare, and actually be a part of Jaylen's life again.
I don't think I have any further questions, Your Honor.
Great. Let me just touch base with the parties. Maybe we could just take a quick 5-minute water break and then be back at 11:15.
That'd be excellent.
Ludwig by Ms. Winkles.
Yes, Your Honor. I just wanted to go through some of your testimony. You testified, and this was at the last trial we were at, you testified to the places that you had lived during a certain time frame. Can you tell me, how many places did you and the child live in the first 10 months of her life?
2.
Okay, and what places were those?
Be my mother's and Caitlin's.
And where?
Caitlin's for like a little bit.
Okay, did you also live with your grandmother?
I moved in with her after the 10 months.
Okay, so in the first year of your child's life, would it be fair to say you lived in 3 different places?
Yeah.
Okay, and when you lived with your mother, did you originally live in a tent?
No, actually, I was living in Spokane in a house on South Side, actually.
Okay, so you did live in...
Jaylen's never lived in a tent with me. She's never been homeless. She's always had a room and a warm place to sleep.
Okay, so you did live in Spokane, is that correct?
Yeah, when I finished high school, I moved into Spokane right after high school.
And did you live in Spokane in 2020?
Yeah, because I was there for a little while. I didn't get Jaylen until she was about 3 months. That's when I got my full custody of Jaylen.
Okay, I'd like to turn to Exhibit 5 in my book, which is the restraining order.
The restraining order that Kelly had put in place with the third there's no.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask the question. So it is that restraining order. So you testified today that you weren't allowed to go to the daycare, and that's why you didn't go. But
yes, I didn't go to the daycare.
I'm just gonna ask the questions. Can you tell me where on this no contact order it states that you can't go to the daycare?
It doesn't say that I can't go to the daycare, but it said that I can't be in contact with Kelly Crape. And Kelly Crape.
Okay, Mr. Ludwig, let me just explain something that you may not be aware of. So there's 2 types of examination. One is direct examination, where your attorney asks you questions. Another type is cross-examination, where the opposing attorney's party asks questions. And so a lot of times what happens on cross-examination, like right now, there's a lot of information you want to share. So when Ms. Winkles asks a question, she may just be asking just like something very specific, and she'll get that answer and she'll move on to something else. And then all that information that you want to share, that's an opportunity for your attorney to explore that on when it's his turn. So after Ms. Winkles is done, then Mr. Anagnostic will have time to ask you those questions where you can share that information that you want to share. But during cross-examination, it's fairly precise and kind of specific. So that's kind of, just wanted to share that with you. Thanks.
Sorry.
Okay, so you were allowed to go to the daycare, correct, when Kelly wasn't there?
Yeah, if Kelly wasn't there, but how would I have known that?
Okay, and did you ever contact the daycare and ask about your child?
No, because there's a third-party communication, and I was afraid that that was also in place for that.
You weren't allowed third-party communication, but isn't it true that you met up with your father during that no contact order?
Yeah, but he didn't.
Okay, and isn't it true that you also talked to your sister on the phone?
Which one?
Any sister that you have.
I spoke to Kylie.
Okay, so you both met your father in person and spoke to your sister, which would have been essentially third-party contact, yet you wouldn't call a daycare a business, and you had no other contact with your child during an entire year. Isn't that correct?
So
it's a yes or no answer.
No, because I didn't.
Okay, and you also claimed that you got the child vaccinated in the state of Idaho, correct?
Yes, and I did.
Were you living in Idaho at the time?
No, I was living in Spokane. I just was looking at a better doctor than from Spokane.
Okay, what was the name of the doctor?
The doctor, I can't remember because the doctor's name, but it was over in the Idaho's sort of CDA hospital.
And what type of insurance did you use when you went to the
Oh,
doctor?
I had Washington State insurance.
Okay, and so you used Washington State insurance and got vaccinations, but they didn't have a vaccine record. Is that correct?
When I contacted them lately for this court case, I tried contacting them and they did not seem to have found any of the information.
Okay, so they had no records of a federally mandated vaccine program and vaccinations for your child.
Yeah, even though that should have been.
Hold on, Mr. Your basis of your objection again.
I mean, it was just, it's argumentative. I mean, she's talking about federal laws and those type of things. I mean, she can ask if he didn't get the record or couldn't get the record, and you know, whether or not it's a federally mandated thing. My client wouldn't know. That's argument.
So as far as the objection, I think the objection, I'll overrule it. I think it's fine if he can answer the question. If he doesn't understand it, then he can ask for a rephrase. So you may need to, Mr. Ludwig, do you need the question reposed or do you remember the question?
No, can you rephrase it?
Yeah, I'll ask it a different way. Did you have any objection when Kelly ended up getting your daughter vaccinated?
I tried getting in contact with the doctor to get her medical records from them, from the place that Kelly's taking her to. And they wanted me to go up there through like the week and drive up and get the information, but I can't because I work.
Okay, so
I'm
going to stop you. So you can't drive up and give vaccine records, but you allowed your daughter to be vaccinated twice with a whole host of vaccines. Is that correct?
See, they vaccinated her without even telling me that they were going to be vaccinating her. So I didn't.
They never gave you a text message. Is that your testimony under oath?
On on her getting vaccinated? No.
Yes.
Yeah, so they did not give me any information that she was getting revaccinated.
Okay. I'm going to move on. You claim that your daughter could hear when she was with you, correct?
Yeah, and she can.
Did she say any words?
She was learning to say dada. So I was teaching her how to say dada and everything. So she was learning.
By 1 year old, how many words did your daughter speak?
By one, she spoke dada and she a little bit of sign language.
Okay, so she spoke sign language, but she only said one word at 1 year old. Is that correct?
Dada, yeah.
Okay, did you take her to the doctor to get her evaluated for anything, having witnessed a 1 year old saying one word?
Well, like I'm saying, I was a new parent. Young parent.
Okay, it's a yes or no. Did you take the child to get her evaluated at 1 year old, noticing she only spoke one word?
No, I did not.
Okay. How many times in the first year of her life did you take her to the doctor?
I've taken her to the doctor at least maybe 3-4 times for the daily checkups.
And nobody inquired about her hearing?
Nope.
Nobody looked into her ears to notice that that she needed myringotomy tubes?
And they did not see anything wrong.
Okay. Do you have those records?
No, I do not have those records.
Where did you take her to the doctor?
I took her to the doctor. So there's I took her to the doctor over there in CDA over in Coeur d'Alene because that's where I was putting her in doctor care.
What was the name of the doctor?
I don't know. It's 3 years now. I can't quite remember.
What's the day of your daughter's birth? How old are you in 2020?
In 2020, I was 20.
Okay. So you keep stating that you were really young and you're making excuses for all these flaws in parenting, that I'm really young, I don't know what I'm doing. Were you too young to make a child?
Having Jaylen,
Your Honor, that's
an accident. Jaylen was.
So, hold on. So, Mr. Ludwig, when there's an objection made, I need to rule on. So just pause for a moment, please. The objection is sustained.
So did you ever seek help from those around you, feeling that you were too young, on such as your daughter only speaking one word? Did you seek assistance from people that had children for issues such as your daughter only speaking one word at 1 year old?
My grandmother, seeing if she knew anything might help me out, because like I said, a new parent, everything.
And you never took her to get her hearing tested?
Who would take a 1 year old to get her hearing tested? Isn't there a specific age limit for her to get her hearing testing?
Okay, let's move on. Now, you are aware that when your daughter went to school, she had significant developmental delays, correct?
No, because I wasn't the one taking her. We didn't have her in school because she was 1 year old, and I got her taken away from me by Kelly and Kai.
Okay, were you aware that your daughter had significant developmental delays?
No, because we didn't.
Did you ever contact the doctors that your child saw for any of these developmental delays?
They didn't, like I said, they didn't see any delays.
Okay, have you ever spoken to your child's doctors?
Yeah, because I'm the person that was on her medical statements and stuff like that. I was the one that took her in.
Have you ever spoken to any of her doctors in Cowlitz County?
No, I haven't. I tried since I was trying to get records.
Were you contacted prior to your daughter having surgery on her ears?
Not personally me. It was actually from Kai texted his mom, Terry Ludwig.
Were you made aware that your daughter was having surgery on her ears?
Yeah, and I told Grandma to tell Kai Ludwig that I would be most likely if you would like me to come up and
did you go up for your daughter's surgery?
Because Kelly was there and that was in place, and if I would have went yet again, I would have been put in jail.
Okay. Now we have text messages and they've already been entered where your father's asking you to come up and visit your child. You received those text messages, correct?
If I did, I can't recall.
Okay. Did your dad ask you to please come visit your child at any time during the time that Kelly and Kai had her?
That is false.
Okay. And so your dad never sent you a text asking you to please visit your child?
No, he didn't. I believe he texted Terry Ludwig, though, not me.
Asking for you to visit your child?
I don't know, because it wasn't between me and Kai.
Okay. Did your grandma ever tell you that he wanted you to go visit the child?
That information did not get to me.
Okay, so you were never aware that your father was trying to get you to come visit your child?
No, because I mean, if he did, how would I go? How would I be able to get up there?
Who drives you to Longview to visit your child now? So you did speak to your father during the time of the no contact order, correct?
Yeah, for maybe about 5 minutes.
Okay. Did he ever mention your daughter to you during that call?
Not the phone call, but the visit. Yeah, when I saw him.
Okay. And what did he say about your daughter?
Because Kai never called me, and neither did Kelly. They
Okay.
never called me.
And you changed phones repeatedly during that time period as well, correct?
That is wrong. So I have the same phone number that they have when everything was going on. My phone might have broke, and I didn't have a phone, so I had to go get a new phone. So that takes a while to get a new phone since I was looking for a job and everything. So when I was looking for a job so I can save money to get another phone, I still had no contact with them because I had no phone. I mean,
Okay. Did you tell me what efforts during that 18 months that you were away, what efforts did you make to go see your child?
Well, like I've been saying, the restraining order, I didn't want to get into any trouble.
No, so what efforts did you personally make? So you knew the restraining order was there. What efforts did you personally make?
I made efforts on getting a job.
What efforts did you make to see your child?
I'm going to object to interrupting my client. He's trying to answer the question. The efforts he made was to get a job. I think that's responsive to her question, and for her to correct him and try to get him his changes is inappropriate.
Right. It's a little bit awkward just because of the Zoom format. It's a little bit easier when we're in person to. So here the objection is noted. Maybe just give each other a little more space in your responses, both with the questions and Mr. Ludwig's response. It just maybe go a little slower. It helps a little bit.
So what physical efforts on your part did you make to specifically visit your daughter? So to have personal contact with her in person, what did you do to make that happen?
If I had my phone was broken, I had to get a new job in order to get a new phone. That makes sense. That's being responsible. And getting a new phone with the same phone number. So they had my number. It's not like I changed my phone number.
Okay. I'll move on.
I still watch
Did
it.
you,
Okay.
did you send them any money? Oh, going back, when you lived with them, what amount of money did you contribute to the care of your child when you were living with your parents?
My food stamps card, all like see, I think $287 on food stamps. So that's almost $300. So
And
on food
did you
food,
give them the food
and
stamp card?
yeah, they had the food stamp card.
Okay.
They could have
And
gotten food. If I went shopping, I would have gotten the food. If
okay,
I had TANF, that TANF would
anything?
have given her
Okay.
for formula and food and other stuff that like diapers that aren't
Okay.
food stamp related.
And now that you have a job and how much do you make an hour?
I make roughly $16 an hour,
Okay, and how
40
many
hours,
hours? Oh, 40? Okay.
40 hours a week.
How
Plus,
much money now that you've had a job have you been sending to Mr. and Mrs. Ludwig to support your child?
they claim that they make
No.
enough money.
So how much money have you been sending to them?
For me, I haven't sent them anything because they
Okay,
have not asked me to send
so
them money.
so
They
you
did
have
not
said you've
have
provided
not
no
given
money.
Hey,
So-
Jayden,
So let
yeah,
me.
Jayden, just, you should listen to her questions and answer her questions. Try not to talk over the top of her.
I was trying to answer the question.
You know.
So let me just butt in. I apologize. So what happens again with this type of format is that there's a lot of information that Mr. Ludwig wants to share, and in the cross-examine stage of this questioning, again, it's asking for very kind of precise information. And once that precise information is had, then the attorney is moving on to the next topic. So the information that Mr. Ludwig is interested in sharing, that can be elicited or brought out when Mr. Anagnostou follows up with his questions. So just want to make sure that you know that, Mr. Ludwig, that you've got a lot of information. It's important that you share it. And there's kind of a time and place to share it. So when the question calls for like a very discrete or small segment of information, then you provide that small discrete piece of information. And then the information that you want to share, Mr. Anagnostou will follow up and ask that on what's called redirect examination. So that should help a little bit from the talking over each other, which is problematic. Thanks.
Yeah, Your Honor, I was trying to answer the question.
Okay, so isn't it true that you've provided no money during the time you've had a job for the care of your daughter?
I have not because they
Okay.
told me.
And moving on. So about how much would you say you make per month? How much do you take home per month from your job?
I don't know, maybe 1,500,
Okay.
somewhere around that.
How much is rent usually to live in a
Rent
house?
right here, right now, in a house or apartment?
Or an apartment.
So an apartment is roughly for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath is running around about 18.
Okay. So would it be fair to say that you're kind of dependent on Michelle for funds at the moment?
Nope, I am not. I am not
Okay.
at all.
And let's go to your bank statements, which
Okay.
are Exhibit 35. It's been date marked 497. Looking at this Wells Fargo, it's from, let's see, what is it from? It looks like it's from June of this year. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay, I see a number of Zells from Michelle Harrington, totaling probably around $300 or so. Is that about right?
Yeah, so the amount of the $200 that you were seeing on one of them is 2 something or whatever. That is because she forgot her card for us to be able to pay for the hotel room at that time. So she sent me that money to go to the room, to the hotel.
So
It's
so
not
she's
that I
paying,
did it
so
for anything.
she's paying for your hotel room then, correct?
Here and there when she can't, when I do not have the funds to do so.
Okay. And
I apologize if I can interrupt. I'm sorry, counsel. Which exhibit number are we working on?
That was exhibit number 35, and it was bait stamp 497. Okay. So you make about how much again? 1,000?
500 a month or
Okay.
so, roughly.
And
That's if I'm not on court dates and missing work.
so
And which
about how many times a month does Michelle send you money?
not often.
Okay. And do you pay rent?
Yeah, so I send her either it's from Zelle or it comes out of my account for bills.
And how much do you send her per calendar month?
I don't know. I don't know the how much I've sent her.
Okay, so you don't have an agreement in place to send her a set amount per month.
No, I don't have a set amount to
Okay.
pay her. So I
want you to turn now to exhibit exhibit 41, and it's been bait stamped 555. And this is your Google Takeout, the discovery we got from your Google Takeout and some of the products that you purchased on your Android. Do you remember paying for huge casino slots, Vegas 777?
So that came with my phone, on my phone, when I bought the phone. That is a not an online gambling game.
Okay,
I don't spend money on game. It's like
did you buy your phone? Did you buy your phone at 2:59 a.m.?
2:59 a.m.
Mhm.
You know,
That's when it was installed.
so it was installed on my phone. Yeah, so I got my phone was just pretty late, and I didn't set my phone up until later that night
Okay.
because I
And
had other things to do.
how about marijuana? Do you spend money on marijuana?
I spent a little bit, you know, just
Okay,
like buying a case of beer here and there.
It looks like you went to Puffco and bought a vaporizer. How much do you think that vaporizer cost?
See, $59 because I mean,
Okay.
if you look at
$59. And
Yeah.
did you send that month that you bought the vaporizer, which was May of 2023? Did you send any money to the crepes for your child?
I didn't buy the vaporizer, so
Oh. Okay, who bought the vaporizer?
it was a gift.
From Michelle?
I'm just saying it's just a gift.
Okay, so if we go back to your bank statements at 35, let's go through some of your charges then in December. Would you say
So we're
December
going
was
to exhibit
Oh.
35, you say?
35? Yeah, it's
Thanks.
date stamp 498.
Okay.
And if we look through some of these, we see Google Voodoo for about
That's
50
my
bucks,
that's movie services, you know,
Okay.
for kid movies, you know,
and Xbox for 20 bucks.
subscriptions.
Okay, and then we see $68 at Erupted Vapor in Longview. Is that about right?
Yeah, I'm trying to stop smoking cigarettes, so I switched over to vaping.
Okay, and we see Shaggy's Den Smoke in Silverton
Yeah,
for it looks like about
that-
40, 50 bucks that month. Is that about right?
yet again, you know, vapes and stuff like that because I'm trying to quit smoking.
Okay, and we see a significant amount of fast food. We see Safeway and, Subway and,
Quit healthy.
okay. Well, no, I'm not asking about that, but you eat a considerable amount of fast food too, correct?
No, I try not to. No.
How much? So you're not paying rent right now, correct?
I'm
Is that-
not. I'm paying utilities.
Okay, and you're paying utilities but not rent. Are you paying a car payment?
Yes, I pay my monthly insurance on my car.
Okay, and how much is that per month?
That is that was $168. It just dropped down to $140.
Okay, so how much money have you saved in order to get this house for your daughter? How much do you have right now saved in order to move her in and get her the things she needs?
Let's see. Everything because every weekend I drive up to Washington. That's gas coming out of my pocket.
Okay, but how much have you saved? So I don't want the explanation about why you spent it. I just want to know the figure.
I got maybe, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I gotta spend money to.
Is it under 500? Over 500?
Right now, it's a little under because every time I go visit Jaylen, I'm spending money
And
money.
So you also said that you have medical insurance at your job. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is there a reason you haven't put your daughter on that insurance?
Yes, because I don't have custody of Jaylen.
Okay,
And
but
if she's already on medical,
Mhm.
why would I have her on double medical?
Okay. So just a quick question. You said you don't have custody of her.
No, because
Does medical insurance benefit your child?
Hold on, Mr. Ludwig. Mr. Ludwig, you need to let her just finish the question. And just sometimes there's a desire to like jump in upon hearing the first little bit.
Sorry.
But just wait, just hold on for a second. She can finish and then you can provide your answer. Thanks.
Who do you think medical insurance benefits more? Do you think it benefits the child more or the person that has the child more?
I don't know. It all depends, you know. I don't know. I don't know the state of Washington's law on medical right now. I'm in Oregon. I know Oregon.
And you also made a comment about one of the reasons you didn't go and actively try to see your daughter during that 18 months. You said you were looking out for your safety. I was
looking out for my safety because I don't want to be.
So, Mr. Ludwig, again, I'm going to interrupt. I apologize. You were a little quick in jumping in. The question had not yet been finished. So just do your best to just wait till you hear the finished kind of the question mark and the tone of voice, and then go ahead and give your answer. Thank you.
Okay,
I'll just put myself on mute then.
So you've stated that you were looking out for your safety during that time. Can you tell me the time that you looked out for your daughter's safety?
I looked out for my daughter's safety the entire time the day she was born.
Okay. was that delegated to the Crate or to Mr. Ledwig and Miss Crate during the time they had this on?
So when she was born, she was in. I fought for my kid. I did not let
Yeah,
my
so
kid go to
did-
foster care. And
Okay, so you, but let's,
I'm
I'm gonna slow you down a little. I'm
So
gonna
hold
slow
on,
you down a little.
Ms. Winkles, I'm gonna try to be fair here both ways. He was just in process of giving an answer to an open-ended question, so I'll allow him to give that answer to the open-ended question. Go ahead, Mr. Ludwig.
Okay, so when she was born, I was there to fight for her. I take a look at the safety of my child, and this is one of the reasons. This is one of the things that I'm sharing with you is that if I didn't feel like the safety of Jaylen or Jaylen's had her safetyness and everything like that, I would have never stepped in and I would have never taken care of Jaylen. But I am taking care of Jaylen. I stepped up to the plate. I didn't let Jaylen go into foster care. I stepped up to the plate was trying to become a responsible person and a responsible adult to take care of my child, Jaylen.
Okay, and so quick question then. You mentioned that the only reason you signed that piece of paper giving them custody was because you were going to be homeless, correct?
Yeah, because they made
Okay. And isn't it true though, and your grandma's actually already testified, that you could have called her at any time and she would have picked you up, correct?
I guess. I mean,
Okay, so you weren't going to be homeless, correct?
So if you think about it.
So it's a yes or no question. You weren't going to be homeless, correct?
So I was going to become homeless from the first
so
day. When they
your
told me,
grandmother, you knew that your grandmother would pick you up, correct?
I didn't know she was going to come pick me up. I thought I'd have to figure it out on my own, like I always do.
She did come pick you up from the train station, correct?
That's because it was a second option.
Okay.
Now,
did you contact her?
I did not
contact her.
Kelly contacted her and told her
Okay.
come pick me up, and that's where they come pick me up at. So
okay. And so when she came to pick you up, and the child is now with them, did you call the police?
Why? Because
were they unsafe?
To me, it feels like they were I don't know. Okay. Back when they had me in custody of me.
Okay,
and how they treated me, that was unsafe. Okay, I don't know.
So, but
I feel like they're going to be doing the same thing that they've done to me, to my child, Jaylen.
Okay, so you were afraid of them, but you left your child there and did absolutely nothing when you left.
No, that's a lie. Because there's I tried, I wanted my kid back. As an adult, as a person who cares for the child, is me, because I care for my child. I wanted Jaylen back. I never wanted to sign that paperwork. I was forced to sign that paperwork by Kai and Kelly. So for them to say that I chose to do it is not right.
And did you call? But you did not call the police when you got there.
So listen, I'm a young person. I'm still an adult, but yet a young adult. Okay, you agree with me that I'm 23 years old, right?
So you did not. I just want to. It's just a yes or no. You didn't call. You did not call the police to go get your child, correct?
No, because there was that temporary guardianship thing that was signed, and I thought it was real. So yeah,
moving on to the assault in June, that occurred June 12th of 2021, correct?
Probably.
Okay, and is there a reason why the police have included absolutely no photos of your bruises on that date?
Yeah, because I looked at the two officers that showed up to talk to me, and I asked them both if they would like to see any of my bruises or any of my cuts or anything from that, and they told me no, they did not want.
Were you here for the testimony of the officer who I called to speak?
Yes, I did, and that's the one officer that did not come and see me.
Okay, and so the testimony was that there was no bruising or no scratches on you, correct?
That's incorrect, because those photos that I sent in, that was from the first court case, all those bruises and scratch marks are from Kai and Kelly, or from Kelly, Taylor, and Creighton.
Okay, and you
testified
that it was a self-defense, but that's not true, is it? It actually was dismissed for failure.
Hold on. We're going to stop right now. We're going to stop. We're stopping. We're not going to do this anymore. I've been fairly patient and fairly clear that when a question is posed, please wait for the question to end and then provide your response. And sometimes the answers call for something more than a yes or no, and at which time he should be allowed to finish his answer. So we'll go ahead and just remember that. We're not going to do this anymore. I'll be vigilant on this and I'll jump right in and police that a little bit. So
No, I remember the question, and it was self-defense.
Okay.
So,
And
so if I could just interject, Jayden, just wait for counsel to finish her question, take a pause, because at some point I might want to object and then answer the question after it's been posed to you. Okay.
Okay, I'll just put myself on mute and unmute myself every time that I need to answer.
That seemed to be working when you were doing
that
it.
work?
Yeah.
I'm going to actually skip ahead because I know we have like 5 minutes. So, isn't it true that you only worked at Foster Farms for around a week?
I was about a week and a half.
Okay. And isn't it true that 7 months, your current job, is the longest job you've ever held?
No, because I've worked over at SiriusXM for about a year and a half.
Okay. And isn't it true that you've never had a lease or any rental agreement in your name?
Yeah, because I don't have a lease or an agreement because
Okay.
I don't have a place to live. Okay,
And
I'm looking.
isn't it true that out of the last 4 places that you've lived, you've been kicked out of 2 of those?
Which 2?
Any 2 out of the last 4? Isn't it true that you've been kicked out of 2?
From Kai and Melody, those 2, but that's it.
Okay. And isn't it true that you drove your child around without a license or insurance?
I was on my way. I was working on getting my license. I had my permit, so I had a permit. The vehicle stuff like that. It was during COVID, so it was kind of hard getting into the DMV, and I've tried getting into the DMVs, but since COVID was in effect, it was kind of hard to go in person into the DMV.
Okay, so that's a no, correct? Or that's a yes, you did drive your child without insurance and without a license, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't able to hear, Mr. Ludwig. What was your response?
I had a permit, but yes.
Okay. And have you done a domestic violence evaluation?
Domestic violence. If I do, I bet you that they're going to laugh at me and tell me why I need them, why I don't need them.
Have you done a drug evaluation?
UAs, but other than that, no.
Okay. Have you ever left the child at Dallas Buse's house to go buy marijuana?
No. I went to go pick up pizza.
Okay, I'm going to turn to the Google Takeout information from July 1st. Were you with Mr. Busey on July 1st? And I just want to remind you, he testified you were.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so I'm going to have you go to what's been bait stamped as 49. Let's see, what did I do? 49 states 7/1/2023, and it has 420 holiday. Do you go to 420 holiday?
I wasn't in 420 holiday. There's a bowling alley that's right behind it. They're right beside it. There's a Little Caesars literally across the street, and there's a boba tea shop literally right next door to it, right next door to the hair salon. And then on behind them is a Chipotle. So there are other businesses around dispensaries. I don't stop at them.
And you're right, because Chipotle is on here as well. And so it's very exact. So it does show you going to Chipotle, and it shows you going all over. Did you on July 1st go to 420 holiday?
No, I must have parked in front of them and went somewhere else because there's not really parking for on a busy days like on that day. It was a little busy.
Okay, how many times since you've had visitation with your child pursuant to this minor guardianship have you been alone with her for longer than 3 hours?
I try to. Yes, I do. So during the mornings and everything, I don't go over to my buddy's place because he's still taking care of his child in the morning. He does what he does. He does what he does in the morning. I take Jaylen to like the park and we play for a couple of hours.
And who's driving you there?
When it's just me and myself, I do. If it's Michelle and me, I drive up and she drives down.
What do you do? Where does Michelle go when you're doing this one-on-one visitation with your daughter?
She will go sit in the car while we go play.
Okay.
So she's
what about your grandma? Your grandma stated that she also was driven by you in her car a number of times. What'd you do with grandma when you were having this one-on-one time?
Same thing.
Okay.
But my grandmother hasn't been up here in about 2 months.
Okay. Isn't it true that your grandmother paid for the hotel last weekend and was here with you?
Yeah, she did because she was up here and she just
okay. And
I didn't tell her to pay for it at all. So
okay. And let's see. So going back, you've taken this parenting class online, correct?
Yes, I did. It was a 4-hour class.
So that's a yes or no question. So I have some of the questions from that course here. Did you remember taking a test with it?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
And I
because
had
that's interesting because this particular course doesn't have a test. So what test did you take?
I thought it had a test. Yeah, it wanted me to ask. I swear, wanted me to ask a couple questions at the end.
Okay, there are no questions on this particular test.
Okay.
Do you remember do you remember just doing it? Where did you find this test at?
I found it. It was online.
And tell me, what was the overall theme of this?
The overall theme
This
was
class.
3 years. It was like young children under, like, when first born, newborns, all the way up to teenage years.
Okay, are you aware that this course is on how to parent divorced children going through divorce? Did you even take the class?
Yeah, I did take the class, but I didn't know it was supposed to be for divorced children.
Okay, and
I thought it was just a parenting class, and
okay,
I'm
and
23. I don't know this stuff.
okay,
This is my first child.
okay, and living, you also state that you're doing the best thing for your child. You live with a registered sex offender at the moment, correct?
Don't live, but I am currently residing,
Okay,
temporary
and
residing.
how many nights in the last week were you residing in a house with a registered sex offender?
I've I don't know. You lose track after a while.
Okay, were you residing there every day of the week?
From the beginning, no, not in the beginning.
What do you mean in the beginning? The beginning of the week?
Yeah, I didn't. Sometimes I'm not here.
Okay, because you're out at work.
Yeah, I'm working.
Okay.
I'm
How far is your work again from the house with the sex offender?
right now. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a 3-minute drive.
It's a 3-minute drive. And how far is it from your grandma's house where you state that you're going to be moving?
It's, like I said, 91 miles. It's an hour and about maybe an
Hour
hour
and
45.
54 minutes, I think it says online. Is that about right?
That's depending on traffic, but yeah,
Okay. And so it's an hour and 54 minutes one way, correct?
yeah.
And you make $16 an hour, correct?
Yeah, that's better than
Okay.
anything that is
And-
in Toledo.
Okay, and what do you think the gas is going to cost you for that kind of trip?
In my car, I get about 33 miles to the gallon.
Okay,
So
so
I get
about
pretty good.
$15 each way?
Maybe 20.
Okay, so you'll lose 2 hours just by the trip, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and the house with the registered sex offender is 3 minutes away?
Give or take, yeah, depending on
Okay,
traffic.
and
Yeah.
in that house is your girlfriend, Michelle Harrington, correct?
Yeah.
Do you guys sleep in the same bedroom?
Objection. I'm not sure that's relevant to anything.
Objection is not overruled. He can answer. Thanks. So there's a question posed.
Yeah, can I get that restated?
Yes, do you sleep in the same bedroom as Michelle Harrington at her house?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you're going to move out from your girlfriend's house that's 3 minutes away from your job, and you're going to move an hour and 54 minutes from your job into grandmother's house, correct?
Yeah, because it's
Okay.
a safe
And-
option and
and
a
where-
great option for Jaylen.
Where are you going to be sleeping at grandmother's house?
I could be, living room, or I could sleep in the same bedroom. It doesn't, if Jaylen, she's 3, she needs her own room, then she's gonna have her own
Is
room.
that little picture with that little tiny bed and like the little closet room?
The twin bed, yeah,
Okay,
that'll be
so
that's all for Jaylen.
okay, but it appears from the picture there's absolutely no room for any other bed in that room. Would you agree? Isn't it true that you have absolutely no intention of moving in with your grandmother? You just want this to go away so nobody ever
No,
investigates
that's
you?
false, because I want my kid to be living with me, and if I can't stay over here in Shells because there's a sex offender, and I won't put Jaylen into that situation where she's going to be by a sex offender or get, be raped or whatever. That's not what I want for my child. Or that's
Okay.
not what I want for Jaylen. I want what's best for Jaylen, and the best place right now for Jaylen is at my grandparents' house, where there is no sex offender, that there is room for her to sleep, that she has her own room. She will be well taken care of. There's a
And who will
complete
be taking care of
shower.
her?
Me, her
Okay,
father.
and so you're going to be waking the child up at 5 a.m. or somewhere around there, correct?
5:35, 5:45,
Okay.
so that she can get ready for daycare. She gets up, she gets
Okay.
bathed.
And
she needs
do
to
you
get
have a
bathed.
daycare set up for her at the moment?
I do have a daycare in mind, but I cannot have her put in there until she's in my custody.
Okay,
But
which
yes, I do
which
have a
daycare is that?
This is also a preschool, so it's or it's Head Start. So
Okay.
it's kind of like a
Are you-
daycare slash preschool where she gets to learn things, she gets to be around friends or meet people.
Who referred you to Head Start since you have to be referred to get
So
in?
I personally went to Head Start when I was younger. That's
Mhm.
how I know about Head Start.
But who referred your child to the program? So it's a referral-based program, Head Start. So who referred you to get you that spot?
It's not right, because I contacted Head Start, and they told
Okay.
me that they can put Jaylen into Head Start even without a referral.
Okay. And I just want to kind of go back real quick. You also mentioned that the whole plan was that you were going to get this child back, and that essentially phase in visitation is starting in October, that they even let you take the child overnight, and that you guys were going to work out a deal to kind of have the child. Is that correct? That's what you stated earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is it then that in the text messages between you and your dad on that date, and that is on exhibit, so there's exhibit 6 at page 77, where your dad says, you guys don't even have a clue. Jayden dropped her off, and your newfound friend demands that I give her a sippy cup. She hasn't used a sippy cup in over a year. I think you guys are something crazy. Do you remember getting that text from your dad?
Yeah, how he cussed at me? Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
come on. I didn't force him to say anything about a bottle.
This should have been planned out better. I can't believe you blindsided your family. That's at page 75.
No. So
You didn't
I'm not
text
gonna,
me?
no response.
Okay, so isn't it true that you had absolutely no deal, and that you just showed up there in October and demanded your child back after not seeing her for a year and a half?
I'm gonna have a no response on that too.
So when a question is posed, there needs to be a response.
I found out that there was no restraining order. And when I found out that there was no restraining order and I could come up and get and see my kid again, I went up and I wanted to see my kid. I wanted to spend some time with her and everything else. I did not demand my child back. I told them that it would be nice. I would like to have my child back. I didn't demand it. I would like to have my child back. It's been that whole first court thing was already taken care of and dealt with, and it was already dropped. And it was self-defense. So I came in up and was like, okay, well, I would like to come and spend time with my child. And
okay, I'm gonna stop you, because didn't your dad say to you, but you guys want to get the cops involved now? So isn't it true that you also called the cops?
I called an officer to ask for legal help, not force help. It was legal help. I wanted to, because I'm getting, still a young adult, still learning. I wanted to know what law there was in order for me to get my kid back.
Okay,
It's not like I called the cops and tell them, oh, they're holding Jaylen hostage. No, I did not say any of that.
Did you call the cop back when you thought that there was a restraining order? Did you call the cop for any legal advice back then to figure out if you could go to the daycare, the child's school, her surgery? Did you call the cop then?
How would a cop tell me yes or no on that if they're not a lawyer?
Okay. And you think that a cop would have information this time legally, but just not the other time?
I'm learning. I don't know who does and who doesn't. I'm an adult. I don't, this is my second court case about taking my kid back.
Okay.
I'm new to all of this.
So aside from the 4-hour parenting class that had no exam on divorce, have you done anything to better your skills as a parent?
Yes, I have a parenting class coming up in October, the beginning of October.
Have you done anything from looking from today backwards? Have you done anything since we started this case to now to enhance your skills as a parent, aside from the 4-hour class?
By looking into more parenting classes.
Okay.
I looked at different parenting classes and I looked online.
Have you completed anything?
Everything like that. Yet? Now, I told you, my appointment doesn't start until October.
Okay. How many months have we been in this minor guardianship now? Do you know?
I'm assuming it's been a year since this whole case started.
So in a year, you've done the 4-hour divorce class and nothing else to enhance your skills as a parent, correct?
Been looking into getting stuff. The parenting class I'm taking in October, I put that in a couple months ago, and that is the only time that they were able to see me, is on October. So I have not yet started it, but I did put myself into that class beginning before before this whole court hearing now. I've been trying to get myself into parenting classes. I've been looking into finding apartments, finding homes, finding rentals. I've been looking at all that stuff.
Okay,
So
I'm
I've
gonna,
been trying. It's not like I was an absent father who doesn't give a flying
so,
oof or
so
anything.
absent all these tryings, absent all these looking into rent, looking into a place to rent, looking into a job closer, looking into parenting classes, looking into all of that stuff. Aside from that, isn't it true that you've done absolutely nothing to, there's been no change to facilitate, nothing you've done actively to facilitate any betterment of your parenting during the course of the minor guardianship?
I think that is false because I mean, I'm trying. I'm
Okay.
still
Yeah.
yet again a 23-year-old male who just got out of high school in 2019 and graduated. I'm still learning. It's not like I was meant to be a parent now. I'm trying my hardest to overcome and become the better parent now than what I was just getting out of high school. So I'm trying to get everything figured out. I'm trying to get all that everything that needs to be taken care of in order to take care of Jaylen any further.
So when the court found that there was the basis for the emergency minor guardianship, and they found that for a number of reasons, nothing really has changed since then, has it? Aside from the fact that you have a job.
Besides I have a job, a fully paid car that's mine and in my name only, that I have insurance on my car, that I have insurance for me, I have medical, I have dental, I got vision, I got everything. I got health insurance, I got 401ks.
But your daughter doesn't have health insurance, correct?
My daughter will have health insurance. She's got health insurance now, doesn't she?
Okay, but she's not insured through you, correct?
Now, if she has health insurance now, Your Honor, Aaron, why would I, who doesn't have, since this is a temporary guardian custody, so they have temporary guardianship over Jaylen right now, right?
So, Mr. Ludwig, I apologize for interrupting. It's 12:15.
Yeah.
We need to take our lunch break now for a variety of reasons. So it's 12:15, and just want to touch base on what the afternoon is going to look like.
I only have about maybe 10 minutes at most of questions and I'm done. And I'm actually done. I just want to make sure I may be completely done, but I do want to speak to my clients and see if I have a couple more questions.
Okay, and then Mr. Anagnostou, after the cross, then you may have some redirect, and then do you plan to call additional witnesses?
Yeah, I intended on calling Michelle Harrington.
Okay.
That should be very short.